Ever felt like your money doesn't buy as much as it used to? That 100 Indian rupees note that once filled your shopping bag now only gets you a few items? That, my friend, is inflation. Let's decode this sneaky economic phenomenon today. What is inflation? Inflation is the rate at which the general level of prices for goods and services is rising, and subsequently, the purchasing power of currency is falling. In simple words, things get more expensive over time, and your money buys less. For example, if a chocolate costs 10 Indian rupees today and 11 Indian rupees next year, that's a 10% inflation rate. Types of inflation. Now, not all inflation is the same. Let's look at the main types of inflation with examples. Demand pull inflation. When demand is higher than supply. Example: everyone wants a PlayStation 5, but there's a shortage, so prices go up. Cost push inflation. When production costs rise, and companies pass those costs to consumers. Example: fuel prices go up, transportation costs increase, final product becomes expensive. Built-in inflation. When workers demand higher wages, and companies raise prices to cover the increased labor cost. Hyperinflation. Extreme and rapid inflation. Example: Zimbabwe in the 2000s, where prices doubled almost every day. Creeping inflation. A slow and steady rise in prices, considered normal for growing economies, usually under 3%. Galloping inflation. A rapid inflation that causes panic, often between 10 to 100% annually. Causes of inflation. So what causes inflation? Here are the key reasons. High consumer demand. Increase in production costs, like raw materials, fuel, labor. Excess money, supply in the economy. Currency depreciation. Value of rupee falling. Government policies, like printing more money. Effects of inflation. Is inflation always bad? Not necessarily, but it has both good and bad effects. Positive effects. Encourages spending and investment. Reduces real value of debt. Negative effects. Reduces purchasing power. Hurts savings. Increases cost of living. Affects fixed income individuals the most. How is inflation measured? Meet the two superheroes of inflation measurement, CPI and WPI. Let's break them down in the simplest way possible. Consumer Price Index, CPI. Retail inflation. Think of CPI as the common man's inflation meter. It tells us how much more or less we are paying for our daily household needs. CPI tracks the price change of a fixed basket of goods and services used by households, such as food, clothing, housing, education, healthcare, transport, fuel. In India, CPI is released monthly by the National Statistical Office, NSO. And yes, this is the main inflation indicator used by the RBI when deciding interest rates. Example: if CPI is at 6%, it means overall retail prices have risen by 6% compared to the same month last year. Wholesale Price Index, WPI. Wholesale inflation. Now, let's talk about WPI, the behind-the-scenes price tracker for businesses and manufacturers. WPI tracks the price change at the wholesale level, i.e., prices of goods sold in bulk before they reach the consumer. WPI includes manufactured products like steel, cement, fuel and power like petrol, diesel, electricity, primary articles like crude oil, cereals, raw vegetables. WPI is published monthly by the Office of Economic Advisor, OEA, Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Example: if WPI is 5%, it means wholesale prices have gone up by 5% compared to last year. Let's sum it up visually. Check out this table for a better perspective on how CPI and WPI work differently. So remember, CPI affects your wallet directly. WPI affects the overall supply chain. Together, They help us understand the full picture of inflation in our economy. Inflation is like salt in food. A little is necessary for a healthy economy, but too much can spoil everything. Understanding inflation helps you make better financial decisions, protect your savings, and plan wisely. Thanks for watching. Like, share, comment, and subscribe.